Do you guys remember where you were when Jeffrey Epstein died? Oh, sorry, died. I'm sorry. I need to add this disclaimer. You don't think about this? Just like, you know? No, not at all? No. Well, heads up, I'm going to be talking about Jeffrey Epstein for like 20 minutes. Yikes, wrong show. Well, I have to, because Trump tweeted, "Stop talking about Epstein" in all caps, so I said, I'm going to do a whole special on it. And what better place than a movie theater in New Hope? Welcome to my screening of the documentary, The Epstein Files, unraveled in Minnesota. Sorry we couldn't do this in Duluth. I apologize. I feel like it would have been better received there. But the Epstein Files, which were definitely a missed opportunity to call them the pedophiles. Just saying, comedy's comedy. I'm against pedophilia, by the way. I hope that I make that statement very, very clear here. The reason why I'm talking about this, there's a lot of reasons, and I'll tell you about them later. But number one is I'm against pedophilia, and I think you should all be, and I think that's why we should be talking about exactly this issue right now. Okay. When Jeffrey Epstein disappeared, I was in Cleveland, so I don't know who had it worse that night. But I told that joke in Cleveland. They loved it. They got it. Okay. But I've been trying to piece these things together because I wasn't really paying attention back then. Because this happened in 2019 when he disappeared from his jail cell, and that seems like the before times, right? 2019 was ages ago. They even named a disease after it. And then we went and moved on, and our lives have changed in the last 6 years alone. And I think about how fast the news cycle moves now. It's incredible. We're at a higher frequency, but not in a good way. Just think about how many things have just happened this year, and how many things that shouldn't be eventful events were eventful events, like Super Bowl halftime, right? That was huge this year. And it was crazy that this year we witnessed a famous person in the public eye basically say straight up to the public about another person, he likes them young. Yeah, it was crazy when Elon did that to Trump. This whole year is basically the Super Bowl halftime. That's basically what it is. And that's why I'm just waiting for the Palestine protesters to show up and hold up the Palestine and Sudan flag. So the Trump administration said they were going to release the Epstein files, and then suddenly they did not. And I'm still trying to figure out why. It's almost as if they're trying to protect someone. And I would just need 20 more photos of that person with Jeffrey Epstein to get an idea of who it is. I've seen about 80 so far, but I need 20 more to give myself the full 100. You know what I mean? But yeah, the hundo. yeah. But so Kash Patel, who sounds like a motel chain. All right, that's a racist joke, okay, if you understand it. But who wouldn't like a cash-only motel chain? That would be pretty cool. He has career options if he resigns, is all I'm saying. Kash Patel was on Joe Rogan a month ago, and this is when I knew something was very, very off, because he was very adamant about releasing the files a couple months ago, and then suddenly he was saying, Joe, I don't have the client list. Don't you think if I had the client list, I would release it? No. You're assuming that we trust you, which we do not. You work for the FBI. That's the last agency that we trust after all the other government ones. You know what I mean? And then he was using very suspicious body language during that interview. He had these nervous twitches when he was bro, I'm telling you, it was a suicide. You know it's suicide when you see one. Why did you just sniff? You weren't doing cocaine before this. Why did you just sniff? Super suspicious. Also, side note, his girlfriend might be an Israeli spy. We don't know yet. We're still looking into it. Okay. So that's Kash Patel. Then you got Bondi and Bongino, which sounds like an Italian law firm. Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, said in February, I have the Epstein files on my desk. And then they asked her like a week ago, and she's like, I don't even have a desk. What are you talking about? I never said Epstein files? No, I said I had Epsom salts. That's what I said. I had Epsom salts, and I was about to take an Epsom salt bath. And so now, because they completely botched this whole situation, Kash Patel is now saying, like, if Pam Bondi doesn't resign, I will. You know, and Bongino's like, I might resign too. It's like, all y'all motherfuckers need to resign, okay? You've all been compromised. Don't you understand? Now, if you're not fully aware by now, Trump and Epstein were boys. Okay, they were boys. They even had a musical group together. It was called the Island Boys. I'm an island boy. That was their first hit. Don't look it up. You won't be satisfied either way. But yeah, Trump and Epstein were friends. Now, Trump tries to pretend like he's not as much of a friend as Jeffrey Epstein said they were, because Jeffrey Epstein claimed in an interview that him and Trump were best friends for a decade. And if you look at the pictures, it really looks like that. But Trump says that's not the case. And I'm not saying believe Jeffrey Epstein, but I'm saying if it's between Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, I'm going with the dead guy. You know, but Trump's side of the story is Trump says that he stopped being friends with Epstein. In fact, Trump's team says they banned Jeffrey Epstein from Mar-a-Lago in 2007 for being creepy. Do you know how creepy you have to be to get banned from Mar-a-Lago? That's like an insane level of creepiness. Like, obviously, Trump has a perfect track record of women, obviously. But Trump has a lot of accusations against him. He's probably got like 100 or so accusations against him. But Epstein has like 1,000. So we're talking like power of 10 difference in levels of creepiness. Yeah, sorry, math is involved. Not only is Trump pretending he didn't know the guy, there was a conference where Trump was sitting with Pam Bondi, and they were asking her about Epstein. And he interjected, he's like, what? Are you guys talking about Jeffrey Epstein? It's like, no, his brother Mark. Who do you think? Just totally pretending like he didn't know the guy. And we're not falling for it. He tweeted like 10 times the last week, like, stop talking about Epstein. It's a hoax. Why are you guys still talking about Epstein? I'm not thinking about Epstein. Why are you guys thinking about Epstein? I've moved on. I'm so moved on from Epstein. Why are you guys still talking about it? Even weirder part is that his supporters are like, you know what? He's right. We should, I know we cared about Epstein so much, but you know what? He's our president. And by God, I believe what he says. Trump, yeah, so let him get back to draining the swamp that's inside of him right now. Let's let him get back to draining the swamp that appears to be only inside of his head. People always say that Trump dog whistles, and I'm starting to get that now, because people are like, ooh, you know, like he says something, they're like, ooh. And it's funny how people are even defending him in the sense they're like, come on. If Trump was in the Epstein files, don't you think that Biden would have released it to get him? It's like, no, because Biden's in that motherfucker too. Do you not get it? They're all in on this Okay, and even if Biden's not in it directly, one of his friends is, hashtag Bill Clinton. Somebody in the very small circle, or oval, I should say, it's somebody there. Okay, honestly, I don't think that Biden was on Epstein Island, because that's a lot of plane stairs to go up and down, and I don't think he's equipped for that. I think Epstein was like, we don't do liability waivers. I don't think we can have this guy. It just makes you realize how creepy all of our presidents are, right? It's basically confirmed that Trump's a pedophile. Biden was sniffing young girls' hair. That's not good. But, you know, hopefully that's just where it stopped, you know? And then Bill Clinton was Bill Clinton. And then I know liberal crowds get mad when I bring up Obama, okay? But he did have some, you know, I guess allegations that he was doing some fellatio for some drugs once. I'm not gonna put that rumor out there, but he did drone strike Syria, so I'm gonna put the rumor out there, just for tonight. It really just makes you appreciate George W. Bush just a little bit. Just a little bit, 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 just a little bit. You know what I mean? I get it, George W. Bush, horrible person, right? In Iraq war, decades of pointless conflict, okay, but family man, okay? A little cocaine, okay? A little cocaine, family man, you know what I mean? He couldn't go to Epstein Island, he was doing art. at home, you know? Okay. So Trump's almost definitely implicated, and Elon seems to have some inside information here. I know, like, I don't like a lot of the things that Elon does and says, but I don't think he's lying. I don't think ketamine makes you lie. You know what I mean? He's basically the only private detective we have left in this situation. He's our he's special K detective. Special K unit. He's out there like, oh, I'm gonna raise Epstein involved, and then we're gonna go directly to Mars. And by the way, the big beautiful bill is not beautiful at all. Because if it was, I would have asked it to bear my child. It's one big show. We don't know exactly who all of the people were who associated with Epstein, aside from all the very detailed flight logs. We don't know all the people, but we do know that somebody in the government considered him a good hang. Okay. Okay, yeah, I mean, take all the time you want with that one. I mean, it takes a little while for the oxygen to leave the brain, so we'll take our dear time. We don't have the conclusive evidence that we want or need, so I think the best next step is to check the surveillance tapes of Jeffrey Epstein's prison cell. Maybe that'll give us a good hint as to what happened. Yeah, does anybody have access to those tapes? Oh, they're actually released to the public. Awesome. Oh, there's a missing minute. You don't say. There was a missing minute in the surveillance tapes released directly to us from the DOJ, our trusted father. Now, here's the crazy thing. They say that the surveillance tape system at Jeffrey Epstein's high security prison was from the 90s. It was very old school. They recorded on VHS, I guess. And it had just one track audio. And apparently the video system needs to reset every night, right around midnight, which is the time that Jeffrey Epstein was allegedly killed, and that his cellmates nearby said they heard someone visiting at the prison cell. Right around that time is when the tapes just stopped for a minute. And I believe the government. Because with the budgets right now, it's hard to get updates on your video surveillance, especially for high security prisons like that. Isn't that crazy? They expect us to believe that a high security prison is using a video surveillance system from the 90s in 2019. The government can spy on us in 4K, but it can't record federal prisons in more than 720p. And so there was a missing minute, and that's what, at a conference, a reporter was asking Pam Bondi. He's like, hey, what's up with that missing minute? And she's like, yeah, we're looking into that. We just have to check with the prison to see if the tapes reset every night like that. So we're just checking. We're like, okay, well, let us know. They haven't told you yet? She's like, they haven't got back to us. They use voicemail. So everything's still in the 90s. Their voicemail box was full, basically, so they're gonna let us know. And then it turned out, the news came out about a week ago that the tape was doctored. Yes, the tape was fabricated by, we don't know who, but whoever it was, they used Adobe Premiere. Shout out, brand loyalty. Yeah, if anything, this was a big L for DaVinci Resolve, because they're like, damn, we could have had that credit. The Epstein tapes, that's huge. And somebody determined that they stitched together 2 different video tracks and 2 different audio tracks using Adobe Premiere. Yeah, shout out to Adobe, dude. Good job. Shout out to Adobe, man, but not shout out to Microsoft, because he was there. Okay. Open the gates of hell. Okay. So they use Adobe Premiere and they stitched together this tape, and I find it kind of inspiring how technology has improved over the years. You know what I mean? Because like somebody in the government made this tape in 2019 thinking they're not going to figure this out. I have the latest edition of Adobe Premiere. I just did the 2019 software update. They'll have no idea what hit them. 6 years later, they had no idea that AI was going to take everybody's job and be like, that's a fake. And then it came out a few days later that it wasn't even a missing minute. It was a missing 2 minutes and 53 seconds. Right? Well, that's a game changer. right? Because beforehand, people were like, well, it's just a minute. You know, like, well, even said that, like a minute historically was enough for Jeffrey Epstein to get finished. But, okay, bad joke. Okay, bad joke. Sorry, guys. But 2 minutes, 53 seconds, you can kill like 5 people in that time. You know what I mean? I wouldn't know personally. I'm just saying, it's a lot of time for the tape to go blank. You know what I'm saying? So that's weird. But is he dead? We'll find out. Actually, I'm going to reveal at the very end. So we know for a fact that some video editor, proficient in Adobe Premiere, was sitting behind a screen deleting something that happened that night, some strange thing that happened that night right outside of Jeffrey Epstein's prison cell, and then stitched together things with apparently no guilty conscience. So a human being literally removed something that could implicate this and bring justice to this whole situation. They removed it and stitched the video together in a complete fabrication to trick the general public into seeing something that did not in fact happen. I think that we need to find that editor. And I would like to hire him, because that is amazing work. That is amazing work. A lot of the times I tell a joke and certain parts don't work and I would just like to cut it out. But my editors, they don't know how to do the crossfades and merge the 2 audio tracks together. Honestly, this joke's not doing as well as I hope, so I'm going to edit in laughter later. I'm going to stitch together another audio track. So anyways, if you know that editor, shout out, give him my number. But, okay. The world at this point wants to see the Epstein files. And here's the truth. Here's what I realized, okay? I really don't think that there are Epstein files. I think the government has a lot of information. Some of it they're not releasing. But I think that most of it already exists on this place called the internet. Yeah, so if you want to see the Epstein files, I looked at them. It's called Wikipedia. Just Wikipedia Jeffrey Epstein, and you'll basically see enough. You'll see more than you even want to know. I'll tell you that much. So what I'm saying is I read the Epstein files, and I'm releasing them here tonight at New Hope at my screening. The Epstein files, uncensored. Footnote, we had to double check this on Wikipedia. I am against pedophilia, okay? And I think we need to be doing more as a society to stop it. And I think we're not. In this country, when people get an offense for pedophilia, they get put on a list. Like, that's insane. That's not proactive. Like, we need to stop people before anything happens. And so I have an idea. I think we all need to go down to the grocery store and watch who's buying their bananas green. Yeah, think about it. Those aren't ready yet, but they still want them. These are the people we need to be watching out for. The green banana buyers. Oh, I see some angry faces. I buy my bananas green. Well, you're a pedophile. Now we know. Buy the bananas yellow like a normal adult. Or with the brown spots if you like them mature. You know how to do it. Get the bananas the correct way. Furthermore, this country has an institutionalized system of protecting pedophiles, and we need to become aware of it, and we need to call it out. It needs to stop now. And to all the people saying, like, well, Jeffrey Epstein got away with it just because he was rich and famous. Like, no, then why is Jared from Subway still in jail? And anybody who's studied this Epstein case, or read the Wikipedia article, would know that this goes beyond powerful people just trying to protect a single pedophile. There's intelligence involved. There's intelligence involved. There's central intelligence involved. If only there was an agency that would be in charge of the central intelligence, maybe we could figure out who the culprit is here. Okay? I'm talking about the CIA, guys. You guys weren't sure. The CIA, I don't know if you know about this beautiful institution, but they've done a lot of bullshit over the years. And a lot of the people who work for CIA are horrible people, and some of them convicted pedophiles. And some of them are pedophiles that were never prosecuted. Look it up. There's been CIA officers historically that were not charged for pedophilia. This is bullshit. CIA actually stands for Can't Identify Age. It's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. We know that this goes even beyond the CIA. We know it goes beyond our intelligence, and we know if you look at the case, you would know a foreign entity is involved. Okay? Now, I don't want to depress you guys with conspiracy theories. That might make you Mossad. But I'm just saying, there's enough evidence now that it's not a conspiracy. It is real. 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 Nothing to see here, folks. I do have to be careful talking about this, because if I talk too much about Epstein, his lawyer could still come after me. Isn't that crazy? Epstein's dead, but his lawyer is still active for him. Alan Dershowitz. You guys know Alan Dershowitz? Yeah, sleazy guy. He was recorded to be on Epstein's island. He has allegations against him, and he's still Epstein's lawyer. So if I talk too much about Epstein, I could get sued by Alan Dershowitz. And for the same reason, I can't talk too much about Israel. If I talk too much about the Israel-Epstein connection, Israel's lawyer could come after me. Also Alan Dershowitz. How many more clues do you need? Okay? But it's just a theory, right? It's just a theory supported by a lot of facts at this point, because all the things add up. All of this happened to happen right when Netanyahu was coming to the United States to do his laundry. That's what he does every time. He brings his dirty laundry. And once you start to put it together, you realize that the whole Epstein sex trafficking thing was not just about one extremely perverted man. It was about a whole operation to gather intel on powerful people. When you see the whole time that Jeffrey Epstein had surveillance cameras in his house, and much better than the ones in his prison, ironically. And there's thousands of hours of tape out there somewhere that have not been stitched together in Adobe Premiere. They haven't even been exported yet. And when you connect the dots, which I did one night, you realize it all points back to Israel. And that's why sometimes people are like, why are you talking about Epstein so much? It's like, bro, I talk about Palestine, and I truly believe, obviously, I want to free Palestine, obviously. Okay? And the things that are holding back the Free Palestine is like the lying media, AIPAC buying our politicians, just misinformation campaigns. And there's all sorts of levels to the whole movement that's trying to prevent Palestine from becoming free. But I'm telling you, and I'm calling it right now, the Epstein files is the final boss. The Epstein files is the final boss because it's controlling the most powerful people. Look at when Palestine almost became free in the 90s with the Oslo, right? Who was brokering that deal that they rightfully so didn't take? It was Bill Clinton, right? And now, who's basically letting the takeover of the West Bank happen and the repopulating of Gaza and initiating that? Trump, who's like he was his bud, okay? So all of the signs point to this. And that's why it is important. And that's why I was up on Wikipedia all night last night. Trying to gather information on when did Epstein turn from just a person into a spy. There was many points in history where Epstein told other people that he was intelligence. There's instances where he even said he was Mossad. And I mean, he was depressed too, but for those of you who don't know, Mossad is Israel's intelligence agency, and they're like everywhere. There's probably like 2 of them here tonight. Hi, say hi for camera. They're like, this is not good. But yeah, so I was trying to figure out like when this all happened. He went to Israel a bunch of times. He actually went to Israel during one of the times where he was on parole or probation. He spent a lot of time in Israel because he was legally allowed to go there. Israel basically has a system where pedophiles can escape from other countries and take safe haven there. It's only offered to Jewish citizens of Israel. It's not Muslims. And I'm pointing this out because that just shows how f***ed up Israel is. They've even apartheided pedophilia. Okay? So if you don't know, now you know. Okay? Because was that a phone call? That's fucking so scary. That was like an old school phone too. It was like ring, 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 it's the FBI. It's just Kash Patel on the other line, like. But I wanted to look it up. I wanted to see, like, who is Jeffrey Epstein actually? And I looked it up. Jeffrey Epstein was born in Brooklyn, which is one of the 5 boroughs that Zoran won, actually. Yeah. Figured I'd perk you guys up for a second before we get into the dark shit. Jeffrey Epstein he had what was considered a normal childhood, which is the first red flag. Parents, do not give your kids a normal childhood. Give them some trauma like the rest of us. It levels the playing field. Like, this guy got both of his parents' love for the whole term. No, f that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm not telling you what to do, but just give him a little adversity, you know what I mean? Like, verbally abuse him a little bit, you know what I mean? It can be passive aggressive if you want. Gaslighting is perfectly okay for a parent. But Epstein's parents loved him, okay? And they even had a nickname for him. They called him Bear. And that's probably why he grew up to think he was qualified for a honeypot operation. That's the operation that he was doing. It's called the Honeypot Operation. If you guys didn't know, that's why the joke makes sense. They call it a honeypot operation when they try to attract people with something they think they like, and that's what he did. Okay, so I'll explain more jokes if you need help with those later. We'll do like Wikipedia, I'll have some footnotes too. I'll try to go through this quickly because I don't want to spend too much time on this guy, obviously. But I had to write. I came hard with the EpiPen tonight, if you know what I mean. Come on. So Jeffrey Epstein actually finished high school at 16, which, again, don't do that, okay? Just, like, make sure your kids experience prom, all right? He went on to take advanced math courses in college, which I'm not proud of, okay? I'm not proud of this at all. We don't claim him, okay? He studied math, but he studied physiological math, which is the creepiest math out there, yeah. It's the math of the human body. Yeah, like, don't mix those two things, okay? And he studied math, which somehow makes what he did worse, because it's not like he could be like, oh, I didn't know the age. Like, you can subtract, you know what I mean? He didn't finish college, thank God. I don't have the same degree as him. But he then went on to teach at what was called the Dalton School in New York, which is a very popular school. And he got this job from a guy named Donald, not Trump, but Donald Barr, yes, who happens to be the father of Bill Barr, the Attorney General during the time of the Epstein case. I'm not saying there's a conspiracy here at all. I'm just saying, what a coincidence, you know what I mean? And I would know this because I know stats. I majored in math. What are the chances? What are the chances? But of course, this is all covered up. If you try to Google the relationship between Jeffrey Epstein and former Attorney General Bill Barr, if you put that into Google, you won't really get anything because all you'll get is a bunch of unrelated articles on the Epstein-Barr virus, which is completely different. What the There's a virus called the Epstein-Barr virus that has nothing to do with these guys. It's a completely different Epstein and a completely different Barr, but also somehow a virus. You know what I mean? Like, it's actually herpes, which is just proof that this is not going to go away for a long time. It needs to be treated right now. Sorry if you're not liking these jokes. I'll raise the bar. People said that Epstein was a creepy teacher, which is like shocking. He would actually show up at students' parties and like try to talk to them and hang out with them. So he got fired for that behavior, which just goes to show there's actually justice in academia sometimes. The Dalton School in the 70s. And you can see that. You can envision Epstein being like, oh man, I can't just talk to the students freely. I wish I had my own island for this, you know what I mean? And then he did. What the f, dude? So the signs were there. He studied the creepy math. He was a creepy teacher. And then he gets an island on the Virgin Islands? Come on, dude. Like, the signs were there. There's teen in his name, Epstein. Like, the signs were there, is what I'm saying. So he left academia. And he became a day trader, which is how it starts for a lot of evil people. And he got fired for a violation there. So this guy keeps, taking L's. And then he becomes a consultant, which, let's face it, not a real job. Sorry, guys. Like, it's like, just become a therapist. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to talk to people. Ooh, a lot of consultants in here. That's fine. But he became a consultant. That's what people say when they don't really know what they do. I'm a consultant. I say things. I'm a consultant, too. I'm a comedy consultant. I consult people on how to laugh. But Jeffrey Epstein was a consultant in the 80s, and this is where things started to get weird, because during this time, he would actually tell people that he was intelligence, and he told people that he was a foreign spy, and he was actually found to have foreign passports from that time. One of them had his birthplace listed as Saudi Arabia. And this actually checks out because he did a lot of business in Saudi Arabia in the 80s. In fact, in the 80s, one of his biggest clients, so we know he had clients back then, what? Consulting clients, of course. One of his biggest clients was a guy named Adnan Khashoggi, who was a prominent figure in Saudi Arabia, who worked with Epstein to basically finance the Iran-Contra affair in the 80s, where Israel funneled weapons into Iran to spur a regime change, which is not relevant to now at all. And Epstein was the forefront of financing that whole operation with Adnan Khashoggi. And during this time, Epstein became acquainted with a lot of people in Saudi Arabia, and it was later revealed, according to Epstein, that he was friends with MBS, Mohammed bin Salman, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. Can you turn off the tapes for this one? Good. Checking. Audio's off too. Hot mic is off. Cool. So MBS, I don't know if you know about this guy, but not controversial at all. And Epstein claims that he was friends with MBS. And MBS claims he was not friends with Epstein. And again, in this case, I'm gonna believe the dead guy. Because you're seeing this pattern a lot. Obviously, MBS did not like that Epstein was claiming that he was friends, but I don't think he would have Epstein killed. I mean, MBS has never done that with anybody, according to him. You see, the people are laughing because MBS did allegedly, again, not according to him, MBS did have someone killed, a prize journalist in Saudi Arabia named Jamal Khashoggi. What the f***? That's the same last name as the guy that Epstein worked with. Could that be a coincidence? How many Khashoggis do you know? Like, honestly, how many Khashoggis do you know? Turns out, Jamal Khashoggi was actually the nephew of Adnan Khashoggi. So Epstein worked with the uncle of the guy and then met MBS somewhere along the way. MBS claims he never met Epstein. And then suddenly, not only Epstein goes away, the journalist nephew of the guy Epstein worked with. I'm not making a connection here. I'm just stating obvious facts. All right, tape's back on. So MBS is a great guy, and that's basically what I just said in that last part. Somebody might notice that this tape has a missing minute, but I have great editors, so don't you worry. Okay. Adobe, shout out Adobe Premiere. No, my editors use DaVinci, so it's not going to look as smooth. After that, Epstein met this guy named Leslie Wexner, who was the CEO of Victoria's Secret. Another red flag. And then Epstein started like basically recruiting models, even though he wasn't in that, he was just a financer, but he would have like parties at his house where he had like Victoria's Secret models. He was like the Harvey Weinstein of finance at this point, basically. Okay, guys, listen. I don't know why Jeffrey Epstein is probably worse than Harvey Weinstein, so I don't know why you would ooh at Harvey Weinstein, but you're like, Epstein's all right. So he worked for this guy, Leslie Wexner, and this is where he made a lot of money. And Leslie Wexner, if you don't know, huge Zionist, like huge Zionist. And also during this time, he became acquainted with Ghislaine Maxwell, whose father, I believe Robert Maxwell, was allegedly a spy, allegedly was Mossad. And when he passed away, she got his inheritance, and that's when she started becoming friends with Epstein, and suddenly they both had a lot of money to pool together to do all sorts of crazy shit with the Clintons, okay? Delete that part too, because you've seen in a lot of pictures, Epstein knew the Clintons, like both of them, okay? Now the Clintons would never have anyone killed. Don't look into it too much, but they would never do that. They would never do that. The way he plays the saxophone is too sweet and innocent. So all I'm saying is, Epstein worked with a lot of people, so there's a lot of suspects. There's a lot of motherfuckers who wanted this guy dead. It ended up being like a game of Clue. You know what I mean? Or I don't know if you ever seen like the movie Clue. It was like a bunch of people wanted to kill this guy, and they probably all double booked. And that's why they had to cut a whole 2 minutes, 53 seconds. Because they're like, you're here with the wrench, I'm here with the noose. Like, come on, man. Come on. So I think that's what happened. I think they all just scheduled the same night because they knew that was the night. And they knew that the tapes probably do reset for a minute. They thought they hadn't made it, but they ended up taking 2 minutes, 53 seconds. So they had to use Adobe Premiere to finish the job. And it was like 3 people arguing over who gets to kill him first, and that's when Epstein snuck out and got choppered out by Mossad. But I'm just a conspiracy theorist. So now everybody wants to know the client list, but again, it's on Wikipedia. You don't need an official client list. Plus, he didn't have clients, okay? They were independent contractors. Let's be honest, like nobody was getting W-2s, okay? It was W-9s. Ask the IRS, they're probably in on this shit too, so yeah. You guys know the difference between a W-2 and a W-9? Good, well Jeffrey Epstein couldn't tell the difference between a W-17 and 18, so. Okay, all right. So Jeffrey Epstein, he purchased an island called Little St. James, which is also the nickname for his I know, a little grotesque, but you've seen the documentaries. Like, that's why we believe what the women are saying, because they all had the same story. They said he had a shaped like an egg. Ugh! That's even traumatizing for me, because eggs are so expensive right now. The crazy thing is that many times Epstein got caught for what he was doing, but every time they let him off the hook, because if you look it up on Wikipedia, every time Epstein caught a case, somebody would show up in a suit and be like, let this guy go, he's higher up than you than ranking. And this happened in the early 2000s when Epstein got like big time busted in Florida. And the district attorney, or like the lawyer who was prosecuting him, Alex Acosta, was gonna give him a heavy sentence, but then somebody showed up and said he's higher on the payroll than you. And so he had to break him off a lenient sentence, or what they call a sweetheart deal. Bad name. They had to give him a sweetheart deal, and Alex Acosta, he even says, he's like, yeah, I was planning on giving him a sentence, but somebody told me that he was higher up, so I had to give him a sweetheart deal. Which is crazy. So you would think that after that, like, somebody owes Alex Acosta a favor. So years later, he became Secretary of Labor under Trump, and completely unrelated. But yeah, something you should know about that sweetheart deal is that they made a deal where anybody who was associated with Epstein at that time was cleared from guilt for the future. And Trump was associated with Epstein at that time. So that's something you do need to know, because Trump and Epstein actually had a case that was filed against them. A case that was filed against both of them. A woman who said in the 90s that she was abused by both Epstein and Trump. She filed the case multiple times. There was witnesses and everything. And then the case suddenly disappeared around November 2016. I can't really put my finger on what might have happened around that time. But the case was dropped, and the woman has since disappeared from record that we know. So I think Trump killed him. I think Trump killed him. But again, we have to keep playing the game of Clue. We know Epstein was a creepy guy. He got massages like 3 times a day. That's why, like, for the sake of everybody involved, like, we need justice, okay? We need justice, okay? We need a happy ending. Okay, sorry. Little trivia about Jeffrey Epstein that I learned along the way. He went gray very early, but he never used hair coloring product. Which, that's something. That's a lot of confidence, especially hanging out with younger folks. I mean, never use hair coloring product once. You know, some people get one gray, they're like, oh my God, I gotta change my life. Not him. So you could say he never died. But here's the thing. If Jeffrey Epstein is still alive, he would have to be somewhere that actively protects pedophiles. Now, I can't think of a region that has a history of doing that. I'll have to look into it more. I have to spend more time as a detective. But that would be a full-time occupation. I'm talking about Israel, guys. I'm talking about Israel.
I was talking to my friend last week. My friend was like, man, I'm hungry than a motherfucker. I was like, what? He was like, I'm hungry than a motherfucker. I was like, who's this motherfucker? Why is he so hungry? And how hungry are you that you're hungry than a motherfucker? I think you mean hungrier. He's like, nah, man, it's a saying. Hungry than a motherfucker. H-U-N-G-R-Y. Then T-H-E-N. I'm like, dude, stop right there. That's your problem. You're mixing up your thens and nans. See, some of you were laughing, so I'm like, I don't even know what the is going on right now. What my friend is basically saying is hungry, then a motherfucker all of a sudden. Like, where did this motherfucker come from? What is his agenda? You have to finish that sentence for it to make sense, right? Hungry, then a motherfucker came through with some fries. Some of you are laughing, so I'm like, this grammar joke's making me tired than a motherfucker right now. That could make sense. You have a guy sitting eating ribs, and his friend comes in like, hey man, we gotta go that MILF. He's like, hey man, I'm hungry, then a mother. Nom 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 nom.
2036, I'm gonna fix healthcare. That's right. The problem is, they say you become an adult when you're 18, and we know that's not true anymore. You become an adult when you're 26 now. Right? That's when life gets real, you know? 18, you just get some cool rights. They get cooler and cooler, then they dip off at 26. Right? 18, you can smoke, you can vote. Yeah! 21, you can drink. Hell yeah! 25, you can rent a car. Invincible! Woo! 26, off your family's health insurance. Yeah, it just got real, didn't it? You just got me smoking, drinking, and driving rentals. I need that health insurance back. You took it at the worst time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get everybody back on their family's plan until they're 65. It's called the Millennial solution, okay? I've done the research. It's more economically efficient to have people on a family plan. It will save you and the government money. And it will make sure people don't have kids when they shouldn't, you know? Like, bro, you really want to have a kid? You have to pay for 65 years of healthcare. Oh, shoot, I'll wear a condom this kid. Population control. And you were like, Sam, you already have kids. If you're under 65, you're on grandma's plan. You're good. And she's on Medicare, so the government's paying for it through your paychecks. It all works out. It's the cycle of life. In a nutshell, I'm going to get you off Obamacare and onto Yo Mama Care. Huh? Yo, Mama Care! That's gonna sell.
I'm Barack Obama, and I proved
Yo,
Mama Care.
We got a great election coming up, though. Looking forward to that one. We're all excited for that one. Big election, man. Good people, man. Good people. Real good, just good, inherently good people. Like, feel good. Like, they make you feel good. They all make you just feel real good inside. All of them. Oh, I'm feeling so good about it. Woo! This election is special because we have two candidates for which both parties are equally embarrassed about. Like, they're just like, holy, how did we let this happen? I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. Can we just drop our political affiliations for one moment and give it up for whoever's working Joe Biden's teleprompter? That person deserves a raise, man. His eyes just... I couldn't watch that speech. I don't know who's writing these speeches. He opens like, back in the civil rights, black people, am I right? And then he immediately goes into, we gotta fight the dark with light. We gotta fight, like, what the are you doing, man? People are like, Kamala Harris, she's not a great pick for vice. It doesn't matter if you think if Kamala Harris is good for vice president. It matters if you think she's good for president. Meanwhile, you got Trump doing rallies. I've always wondered, if you ever watch a Trump rally, he has people of color there, right behind him. Who are these people? They look so happy. I guess there's a whole other side that the media doesn't show you. Then my friend in Tulsa sent me this screenshot of a post looking for people of color actors to go to the Trump convention. So he's literally paying actors to be like, yeah!
Blacks for Trump. I like those sides.
Barack always kids and he says, learning to speak without a teleprompter. Joe's learning to speak with one.
I'm back. I've been here, I've been home, I've been at the store. I just been going to the store. Right? You know what I'm talking about. You been to the store? That's cracking, dude. People are buying food like they're about to die. People are buying all the food, man. Remember when toilet paper was gone, then it came back? That was dope! It came back! I thought it was gone! And when it came back, like stand-up's coming back too, man. Stand-up is on its way. It's just another era in the store. Whole Foods, they play little PSAs between the musics. Like the music will be playing, and they'll stop the music, and they're like, please keep a safe 6 feet away from each person in the store, and then back to the music. Kiss, 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 kiss. Back to the PSA, and make sure you're wearing a mask and not in other people's personals. Eat the booty like groceries. Eat the booty like groceries. Like, why is that at Whole Foods? That's more of a Trader Joe's song.
Hey, this is Sammy Obeid, full-time comedian, one-time hand model, and most importantly, former math teacher.
6 + 0 = 2 people. Good, solid, that's good. Out of 100 something, that's fine. It's not.
Lately, countless young people have asked me, Sammy, should I go to college? And even my parents are like, Sammy, why do we pay for your college if you're just gonna dedicate yourself to making high-quality internet content?
Not good.
What did you guys do? What happened? Well, as we know, college is an investment. And with any investment, you should always ask, what is my return on investment?
But what's the ROI? What's the ROI? What's the ROI?
Okay, I learned that in college. It's a measure of profitability used mostly by people who watch Shark Tank. ROI for short, or ROI if you're completely lazy, is equal to net profit over total investment. Net means we subtracted all the costs. And if you prefer to keep the costs, fine, but that's gross. Now, ROI is often written as a percentage, but this isn't a children's show. Today I'm gonna show you for each dollar you spend on college, how many dollars do you get back? Don't worry, I'll do all the work. So let's just say you do community college, because let's face it, they have better parking and no annoying frat guys named Thad. The average cost of an associate's degree is $24K. And what do you get in return? Well, your expected lifetime income with an AA is $1.725 million. Nice. But $1.3 million of that comes from just graduating high school, and you have to subtract the cost of getting the AA, so the net value of an AA is only $401K. This is why I love math. If you don't know what a 401K is, it's like a very long marathon. By the time you get your cash prize, you can't even walk. So the ROI of community college is about $17. So for every dollar you spend on an associate's degree, you get about $17 back, which is better than most drug deals. Probably why so many drug dealers go to community college. Now, if you live with your parents during all of this, your cost drops from $24K to $8K, and your ROI jumps to 50, damn! And you were ashamed to bring a date back to your parents' place? Show them that big old ROI. Let's put this into perspective. An ROI of 50 is what you get working in real estate for 40 years. So plan B is just inherit your parents' house and flip it. Now, if you go to a 4-year college because you want bigger words in your lexicon, like lexicon, that adds $1 million to your life. Assuming you work 40 years, which most millennials won't. And I can say that because I'm a millennial and I've been taking a gap year for the past 5 years. And I know some millennials are watching like, hey, I'm at work right now. Yeah, but you're watching this vid. Now, if you do in-state public college like I did, that costs $83K, which my parents will never get back. So your ROI is $11, which is minimum wage in New York. But let's not compare apples to big apples. Here is a better comparison. You get an ROI of 15 for running your own business for 40 years with or without a college degree. So you may not need a 4-year education if you have a badass cronut recipe and aren't afraid of badass Yelp reviews. Oh no, my alma mater just gave this video a thumbs down. Now, if you do a 4-year out of state because your parents want you to leave, that costs $146K. So your ROI is $5.86. Sad, but it's fine because your parents have money, and you'll probably get all of it when they die in that mysterious boating accident. Now, private college costs $187K because it murders retirement funds. So your ROI is $432. By the way, shout out to USC Film School for helping produce this video for free. Now let's say you're done with undergrad and thinking about getting a master's because essentially you want to be your coworker's master. Master's adds about $400K to your lifetime and can cost anywhere from $30K to $120K. So let's say average $70K, but let's assume you eat, which makes the average master's cost $100K. So your ROI is 3. There you go, boss. Now a PhD, or as Middle Eastern parents call it, bare minimum, you can earn an extra $1 million. But it takes about 8 years, so your average total cost is $360K. Because you know what they say about PhD, it stands for pretty huge debt. Your ROI is barely $2. You could get the same return if you instead put that $360K into a standard 2% bond and just sit and wait for 40 years. At least that way you don't miss your kid's birthday 8 times. Let's put this all together. It looks like the more college you do, the less profitable it becomes. Sort of like making Saw movies. Strangely, it looks like your best investment is community college living at home. Sorry parents, now all of you hate me, but get that basement ready and stock it with ramen, Adderall, and a door that locks. Now hold on, there is good news. Just by finishing high school, you get 1.3 million added to your life. That diploma, certificate to the Millionaires Club. You thought you had to be a rapper?
And that's all profit, baby, because the cost goes to your parents. Way to beat the system, Lil Ploma. Roy's so big, it broke my calculator. Ah!
So whatever you do, finish high school, do some college if you can, but just like with anything in life, if it feels like too much, it probably is. And you can trust me, because I went to college. And obviously, there's so many other ways to value the college experience. This was just looking at money, and as we all know, money is not that important.
Wait, am I gonna get college credit for this?
No, because college credit equals debt. Were you not listening?
Not bad for America. 6 plus 0 equals 6. If you weren't 100% sure on that one. 7 plus 0 equals? Much better. You're learning. See, you're learning. People get smarter.
Do you guys know that if you go up to a Ku Klux Klan member and you rip off his face mask, he just becomes a chef? Hot power, white wine sauce.
Caught my roommate drinking expired milk. Yeah, I was like, bro, this is best by September 1st. He's like, nah, man, that means it becomes its best by September.
I do split-second impressions. They're very, very short. What I do is I channel the aura of the celebrity. I bring them to life. So give me something that we all know. Arnold Schwarzenegger. We'll do one at a time. First one was Arnold Schwarzenegger. Here's my split-second impression of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Split-second impression of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Did you see it? I'm not just doing random stuff. I'm channeling the aura. What's next? Give me someone else.
Dave Chappelle.
Okay, we got Dave Chappelle, Donald Trump, and what was over here? E40. Split-second impression of Donald Trump. It's all on the lips. And now I'm going to do split second of E40 and then split second of Dave Chappelle back to back. Split second impression of E40, then Dave Chappelle. Split second impression of E40. These are not easy to do. Do a lot of practicing in front of mirrors.
Middle Easterners, we solely have the power to end police brutality. Anytime in America when we see a police officer apprehend a person and it looks like somebody's gonna escalate the situation and we know at any minute it could get ugly, all we have to do is yell, suddenly the police officer and the potential victim hug each other out of fear, like, no! Why are we fighting over that bullshit, man? This guy's about to end it all. As you saw with 9/11, the one thing that brings black, white, Latino, Asian together is hatred for the terrorists, man. And you're like, Sammy, but then they're just gonna shoot you. Well, I didn't say it wasn't a jihad. That's what we do. It's a jihad. That's what I'm proposing, is a jihad for Black Lives Matter. Who's with me, guys? Who's with me?
Where are you? Where is our leader?
Hey y'all, this is Sammy Obeid, math major. There's two things right now in the world that disgust me. Number one, police brutality. Number two, people arguing about it using shitty math.
Do you think systemic racism is a problem in law enforcement agencies in the United States?
No, I don't think there's systemic racism. I think 99.9% of our law enforcement officers are great Americans.
If you want to have a productive conversation about police brutality, you gotta at least come correct with your basic arithmetic. Before I begin, I am not anti-police. In fact, I love the police. In fact, I'm in love with the police. And I know this because every time I see one on the road, my heart starts beating uncontrollably. I have no political agenda. I'm not liberal, I'm not conservative, I'm not black, I'm not white. I'm Arab American, which just gives you more reason to hate me. Let's go. We don't even deal with the police, we deal directly with the CIA. Math myth 1. In America, the police kill more white people than black people. This is the most divisive statement because it's the first thing conservatives bring up, and then liberals often respond, nuh-uh, black people are 2.5 times more likely to be killed by the police. So which is true? Both. This information comes from Statista.com, a non-politically affiliated service. Rule number one when citing stats, always get it from sources that are just raw data, because we all know raw is best. So I took the average over the last 3 years because I passed the 5th grade. In America, the police kill about 1,000 civilians each year, 409 of which are white, that we know of. Despite what our sports fields look like, black people make up 13% of the population, and white people make up 60%, which means if cops shot all of our country at random and killed 1,000 people total, only 130 would be black, but for some reason, it's 222. Which means black people are, by definition, disproportionately murdered by the police. I know it's a big word, but it's a big problem, so learn the word. Now, let me show you a very sad math trick. If you divide these numbers by their share of the population, you get 1708 and 681. And if you divide those two ratios, you get that black people are 2.5 times more likely to get killed by the police. So the reason people are divided on this is because they can't divide. Math myth 2. There was a tweet floating around the last few days. For every 10,000 black people arrested for violent crime, 3 are killed. For every 10,000 white people arrested for violent crime, 4 are killed. He only tweeted it once, so I guess somebody responded. I don't fully understand where this came from, and I Googled it in various phrasings, but still nothing. So let's just assume that it's true to be nice, because every person on Twitter deserves at least one chance. What's also true, African Americans are 21 times more likely to be arrested for violent crimes than white Americans. Now, this was in 1999, so we can definitely blame Hillary, am I right? A more current stat, in 2015, the UN, which I never heard of but sounds like some Marxist to me, says that African American adults are 5.9 times as likely to be incarcerated than white Americans. But forget the UN. Let's use a domestic source. University of Michigan literally hand counted the exonerations in 2016 and found that African American prisoners who were convicted of murder are about 50% more likely to be innocent than other convicted murderers. Again, these are verified stats, blue check mark and all. Applying any one of these stats to this tweet, you still get that black people are more likely to be killed by police than white people, regardless of the crime. In a country where there are 4 white people for every 1 black person you've seen Seinfeld. Math myth 3. A couple years ago, a Yale English major, yes, English, she had to go to Yale to study English, wrote this piece called The Myth Black Lives Matter. What kind of human vacuum do you have to be to write an article with this title? Like, not even trying to hide the racism. So Heather says, over the past decade, according to FBI data, 40% of cop killers have been black. Officers are killed by blacks at a rate of 2.5 times higher than the rate at which blacks are killed by the police. First of all, anybody who says the blacks is racist. Like, you could have easily just said black people, but you chose to dehumanize them by removing the people part. Just the blacks. Like you love the Mike Epps movie. This is a complete BS statistic. Look up the data on police killings. Matter of fact, I'll show it to you from the Officer Down Memorial page. This is a pro-law enforcement site. About 150 officers are killed in the line of duty each year over the last few years. Over 200 black people are killed by the police every year. Do you see the problem yet? Taking what she says literally, if 40% of cop killers are black, that's 60 officers killed by black people a year, 200 black people killed by officers a year, 60 divided by 200 is 0.3. She said it's 2.5, which maybe she mixed up with the likelihood of black people getting killed by the police. But then again, she spent $200K to major in something you can learn from a pocket dictionary. By the way, if you are seething with anger at this point in my video, please light up the comment section with some racist prove how not racist you are. I'll help you out. Math myth 4. Let's stick with Heather for a moment because she seems to love making mathematical arguments, even though Wall Street Journal makes sure to let people know it's just opinion. She wrote an article this week basically saying the police aren't racist. What's her proof? It's all Obama's fault. She says, in 2018, African Americans made up 53% of known homicide offenders in the US. So I decided to do what none of her readers do apparently, which is check the work. Look at this table, directly from the FBI. I have them in my bookmarks because they do the same for me. See here, African Americans are 6,318 of homicide offenders in 2018. Again, those that were convicted. Divided by 16,335 homicides, total is 38%. You just said it was 54. You didn't think we were gonna check? So for the record, black people do not commit over half of the homicides in America. Just ask the FBI. Secondly, look at this. Over 4,000 of these homiciders' race, unknown. In a country where the majority is white, everyone knows what race they are. You couldn't identify the race of a quarter of the offenders? So let's just call them racial dolezal. Math myth 5. Also by our English major friend,
Heather McDonald of Manhattan.
She said in a testimony in front of Congress last year that in 2017, there were 7,851 black homicide victims. Only 2.8% of those black casualties were killed by a cop. Now, if anybody ever says to you that only 2.8% of a group of people is killed by anything, your expected response should always be, it should be 0%, you basic binary bitch. Well, that one was easy. Math myth 6. White officers are no more likely to kill black civilians than other officers. My first response to this is, so what? That's not the problem here. The problem is police brutality against minorities, not the color of the skin of the person who commits the brutality. You don't need to make this any more racist than it already is. But I still looked into it, and 2 universities compiled a list of more than 900 fatal US police shootings in 2015, then asked police departments for information about the race of the offenders responsible for the shootings. So basically asking the police department, hey, can you give us some data that might show that you're racist? And the police department's like, oh yeah, 1 second. Yeah, there you go. Whoa. There you go. Oh, other side. Maureen, get the shredder! So if your argument is that black cops are more or even equally likely to kill black suspects, you're making a pretty heavy accusation on the percentage of black cops that are crooked. Think about that. Math myth 7. Police brutality is directly correlated with the crime rate. Simply not true. Look at this graph. I double, triple checked the data on this, and I encourage you to do the same. What, you don't have time, but you have time to argue? Well, congratulations, you're a goddamn American. Math myth 8. All of the data on police brutality is accurate and reliable. What? We can't trust the government? Aside from the bogus stats I've shown you today,
99.9%.
There's also been countless incidences of police brutality being swept under the rug. Talk about pigs in a blanket. In 2015, the Bureau of Justice Statistics found that from 2003 to 2009 and 2011, ARD, arrest-related deaths, only captured approximately 49% of people killed by police. Let's assume that in fact, only half of police killings are being reported, and thus there's an extra 1,000 a year that we aren't even hearing about. And even if for some reason that extra 1,000 doesn't skew more likely to affect black people, like the officers who hide their killings are extremely deceitful murderers, but not racist, you still combine that data with the data that we have, and still black people are 1.75 times more likely to be killed by the police. That's best case scenario. And if you don't understand how I got 1.75 from our earlier figure of 2.5 and this stat, do the division yourself, you moron. I'm not your tutor. But I am available to tutor your kids if they want that. So anytime anyone cites any stat on police brutality, you can just say, shh, that's only half the truth, Cupcake, which you can do to me right now in the comments. Drop me a comment. Go. I dare you. Final myth. Black lives matter. 100% true. And if you don't believe that 100%, you suck at being human. And you suck at math too.
You can feel it. You can feel it. You can feel it.
Lee, you're on the air in San Francisco.
Omid Far, semi-obede. Hey, Howard.
What was that?
I don't know. Talking my made-up Riley language, I'm sorry. Oh. Hey, I want to know how many times over the break did Robin Florentine?
How did you and Jimmy do over the break? Did you see each other? Did you get closer? Or is it pretty much over?
We saw each other.
Omid Far, semi-obede. Semi-obede. What was that? I don't know. Talking my made-up Riley language. I don't know. Talking my made-up Riley language, I'm sorry.
This is a tale of road rage. So a little bit about me is that I am a driver with purpose. I am not one of these California drivers who drives like they don't have anywhere to be. No, I am a purposeful driver. So I was driving home from work one day, coming in from Calabasas, and it's a long drive, so I was going quickly. The whole flow of traffic was going quickly. And I noticed a dude in the lane next to me had his blinker on, but he wasn't going quickly enough to be able to overtake me at the speed that I was going. And so I figured that I would just clear the lane for him and let him dip in behind me, which I guess didn't sit right with him. I guess he wanted to be first. I guess it triggered him that I didn't slam on my brakes and let him go first. I don't know, maybe they didn't let him start in football in high school, and he was big mad about that. So what he did was dip behind me and come over on the other side and throw his water bottle at my car so hard that it lodged itself into my side mirror. And I don't play that. I'm from Texas. I am not about that life. So he exited the highway really quickly, and I exited the highway really quickly to yell at him, of course. So I pulled over next to him. I threw the water bottle back in his car, which I shouldn't have did. I should have waited because he rolled his window down, and I maybe could have hit him with the water bottle. But I started yelling at him and calling him an idiot and just saying everything that was on my heart. And he immediately called me a monkey and an just because I didn't let him go in front of me and I wasn't cool with him throwing his water bottles at my car. So we continued to yell at each other for a little bit longer. He pulled off, and I do regret that I wasn't a present enough mind to get his license plate number, because I have no way of, reporting it or finding him. Now all I have are fantasies that I'll bump into him at a Ralph's or something and get to cuss him out in front of some produce or something. Be like, who's the monkey now? Throw an actual water bottle from Ralph's at him.
So, I did a show once where I walked into a bar and it was just empty, except for a drunk couple at the bar who was already in a fight with the host, and they were extremely racist. Like, the first thing I hear when I walked in was, no, but that Vegas shooter, he's not a terrorist because he's white. That was literally the first thing I heard when I walked in, and I was like, oh my god, what kind of show is this? And the host goes, no, but do you know what a terrorist is, though? It's someone who inflicts terror. And her boyfriend goes, just listen to her, man. And I was like, oh, this is the kind of show it's going to be, I guess. And in the middle of this argument, I turned around and I noticed there's one other audience member, and it's just a blind guy in the corner, just hanging out. And at that moment, he goes, hey! He goes, I want pussy. Like, that's what he yelled. That was what he wanted in that moment, I guess. And the drunk girl goes, I'll see your dick. I swear to God, they get up and they leave together. And for 10 minutes. Finally, they come back, they sit in their respective seats, and with the new confidence that this guy had, he just goes, you know what? I want to do stand-up. And the host goes back on stage and he was like, the show literally can't get any worse. Come do a few minutes. So the blind guy goes on stage with his stick and everything and just goes, don't you hate it when girls just want to see your dick? Straight up, that was the first thing he said. To total silence. We're just like, is this for real? And at that moment, the booker of the show walks in and sees this guy on stage. And he talks to the host. He was like, who the hell is this guy? And he goes, well, it's kind of a funny story. He goes, no, dude, get him off the stage. And then he tries to give him the light to get off. And he couldn't figure it out. He's like, why can't he see it? And then he realizes it. And he's like, oh, he's blind. And the comics in the back just erupt in laughter. And the blind guy goes, there we go.
And there you have it. Word of the week, defund. It's not in here, this is just a prop. Not to be mistaken with defund, which is also associated with the police in my videos. Defund, a powerful word that both the left and right and this guy agree on. But like most people who use it, I honestly don't know what it means. So let's define defund. You see what I did there? Okay, so Oxford Dictionary says that defund is to prevent from continuing to receive funds. A wordy way of saying, no funds for you. This is a confusing definition of defund. Please, D-word. I know you're thinking Oxford if privilege had a location. Now dictionary.com says defund is to withdraw financial support from. So naturally, we have to look up withdraw, which is to remove or take away something from a particular place or position. Slowly, Ruth withdrew her hand from his. Aw, Ruth, don't leave me, babe. Unless you're the police, then GTFO. Because defund, by most definitions, means to totally withdraw funds, which means no police for you. Yes, you, Natalie Portman. I'm gonna be honest, she looks like she needs some police. Of course, some do want to abolish the police, and I respect that, but their wrists are not as frail as mine. Sign looks really heavy. Meanwhile, many say that defund doesn't mean abolish, but it is saying no funds to cops. I don't think anyone's moving to LA to pursue their dream of being the man. Trust me, the savings run out, the dream gets abolished, just ask my former comedy career. I'm not criticizing the use of defund or the intention behind it. I understand it's the best word we have. That's the problem. If you have to use a word and constantly explain that it doesn't mean what it actually means, it's like the I'm not racist but guy. And he definitely is a but guy. Even Ben & Jerry's felt the urge to explain it. And of course, with no financial motivation whatsoever. Note how they didn't include free healthcare for pre-existing conditions such as obesity or diabetes. But check out their new flavor, Fudge the Police. It's all chocolate. The white chocolate's a minority. No blueberries. The harsh truth is that most Americans want some police. And laws are changed by democratic process, so while the statement makes a point, the target audience you need to convince is Wisconsin. And defund the police makes them their pants. They eat a lot of dairy. Of course, defund is still nicer than the other F you the police saying. Obviously, if you disagree, please light up the comments, even though I didn't do anything wrong other than define a word, but I need the attention. I'll go first. Duh. For the record, I'm for Black Lives Matter, I'm for police reform, and while I understand that defund gets the point across hard, just remember who you're up against.